7 in Carencro or at deltatrailersales.com.
When you support local businesses, you strengthen the communities we call home. Shop local, support local. Certified South Louisiana.
Hi, I'm Nancy Landry.
No matter what part of our great state you call home, Louisiana's elections are an important part of who we are. In 2026, closed party primaries will change how some of those elections happen, so you'll want to know what to do. Keeping your registration current ensures you'll get the right party-based ballot. Remember, this change only applies to certain offices.
To learn more, visit govote.com or download the GoVote app.
Paid for by the Louisiana Secretary of State's office.
Your Honor, I would like to introduce exhibit number 1.
MeTV is America's #1 classic television network.
There can only be one #1, me.
MeTV features over 60 of the greatest classic TV series each week.
Go with the winner.
Enjoy dramas, comedies, westerns, sci-fi, and more.
You just watch me.
Watch MeTV Acadiana on KLWB, over the air on Channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
MeTV is memorable entertainment television.
Do you know a veteran in need? Nation's Finest, through the VA's Supportive Services for Veteran Families program, helps veterans and their families struggling with rent, employment, and other housing-related costs. Today, Nation's Finest operates more than 30 locations in California, Arizona, and Nevada, helping thousands of veterans every year. Visit nationsfinest.org or call 1-833-468-9676. That's 1-833-468-9676.
Live from Upper Lafayette, this is ESPN 1037 KLWB Carencro Lafayette, KLCJ-FM Oak Grove Lake Charles 1041, a Delta Media station.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
The American League took home the Midsummer Classic crown last night after beating the National League 4-0. Yankees' Cody Bellinger and Ben Rice picked up back-to-back RBI to give the AL a 3-run lead in the first. Then in the 8th, Miguel Vargas hit a solo shot to left to seal the 4-0 win. The MLB All-Star break will continue today, with the regular season getting back underway tomorrow night with the Phillies hosting the Mets. Spain is heading back to the World Cup final after knocking off France 2-0 yesterday in the World Cup semifinals in Dallas. With that win, Spain has now beaten France in 3 straight semifinal matches and will now play in the World Cup final for the second time in their history. Spain will get the winner of today's semifinal matchup between England and Argentina. The last time these two teams met was in 2005, while their last competitive matchup came in the group stage of the 2002 World Cup. Kickoff is set for 2 o'clock this afternoon from Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. LSU football has released the names of the 3 attendees that will be accompanying Coach Kiffin to Tampa Bay next week for SEC Media Days. Linebackers TJ Daugherty and Whit Weeks and tight end Tradez Green will represent LSU at the podium. The Tigers are scheduled to speak next Thursday, the last day of the event. McNeese Athletics announced yesterday that they will have a new sponsorship patch on all jerseys for the upcoming year. Navarre Chevrolet, who also holds the naming rights to Cowboy Stadium, will have their sponsorship patch on all Cowboys and Cowgirls jerseys moving forward. I'm Blake Persher, and you're listening to ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, your home for the LSU Tigers and the Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you. This is ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station. This is 2 hours of sports talk like none other. Footnotes with the man who speaks his own language.
Me fail English? That's impossible.
Your host, Kevin Foote.
Welcome into Footnotes. We are at Sunbelt Conference Media Days at the Marriott Warehouse District on Convention Center Boulevard, downtown New Orleans, and we are going to be doing the East Division today. We're focusing anyway on the East Division. Tomorrow will be the West, including the Raging Cajuns, obviously. So we've got lots of interesting things I'm looking forward to in the very next segment. We're scheduled to have former Cajun head football coach Billy Napier. I haven't seen Coach Napier since the Cajuns won the Sunbelt Conference Championship, the post-game press conference, and you can imagine he's doing a press conference. I'm trying to write the story. I still remember, and we kind of looked at each other, and it was just like, who knows when we'll see each other again? Because he was going out, and I was having to work, and I haven't seen him since. So looking forward to catching up with Coach Napier a little bit. But there are a few other things that we have to comment on before we get to Sunbelt Conference Media Days. And one of them is yesterday on the show, you're hearing all the soccer experts, of which I am not one, not even remotely one, tell me about how great France is and how great France is and how great France is. And then I heard, well, France can't beat Spain. So I'm like, we do this in every sport. Like, we can't think for ourselves. Like, if Spain, and so I asked the question during the show yesterday, should we be asking, are we asking the wrong question? It's not whether Spain can beat France. The question is, can France beat Spain? Because historically, Spain owns France. So why were all the soccer experts talking about France? I mean, again, I don't pay close attention to soccer, but I mean, come on. I mean, sports is. I thought, I made the comment yesterday. It's kind of like sports is sports. I assume soccer plays like a lot of other sports play. Some teams have other teams' numbers. That's the way it is in all the sports that I follow. And so I think, it amazes me that all the soccer experts that I heard locally and nationally were asking the wrong questions of it. Everything was, it's when two teams play, it has nothing to do with how good the two teams are. It has to do with how they match up with one another. It's like that in every sport. So anyway, I thought the soccer experts missed it big time throughout the whole World Cup, and I kind of enjoy that. You know me, I'm a little bit of a when 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 almost everyone is saying the same thing in a competitive situation, I call that a red flag. Like, a red flag should go up. If everyone is saying the same thing in a competitive situation, then they're probably wrong. You know, like I always say, I mean, if it's John Curtis and Mamu, that's a different situation when John Curtis plays Mamu. But when in a competitive situation, if almost everyone is saying the same thing, the red flag should go up in your mind. And the red flag went up for me. I'm like, I don't buy this France stuff. Spain owns France. They're going to win. So I was right about that, even though I don't know a whole lot about soccer. Speaking of being right, FedEx man called Monday, or was it Friday? One of the recent shows, and said, "Look, everyone's talking." And he's a fan of the Punks, so he's a National League guy, and most of my life I've been a National League guy until the Astros got extorted, fortunately, to the American League. But he said, you know what? All the talk is about how great the National League is and how terrible the American League is, and he called and said, "Well, I'm telling you, the American League is gonna dominate the All-Star game." And that's exactly what happened. I mean, so good for FedEx, man. Again, same kind of thinking. Competitive situation, everyone's going in one way, red flag should go up. And I know that the National League on paper is better than the American League this year. I get all of that. But it's still, I mean, you're still talking about professional players, the major league. So it's still a competitive situation. And they scored the American League scored 3 runs in the first inning, and really, I mean, the National League couldn't even hardly get a base hit. So it was a pretty dominant performance for an All-Star game. And so, I mean, the Astros can't count to 3. So I'm not really worried about home field advantage or anything like that, right? That's not even on my mindset right now. Although I do agree the American League is wide open for the most part. You got to be able to count to 3, and the Astros can't do that. But it's it was interesting that I just thought about FedEx man and said he got it right. He nailed it, and most people don't, because most people just believe what they're told over and over and over again, like we talk about all the time. So anyway, we've got that that happened in the world of sports yesterday, but again, we are going to be talking almost exclusively Sunbelt Conference football. Again, if you did not see earlier in the week, and we discussed it yesterday on the show, the polls came out, and as expected, James Madison was picked to win the Eastern Division. Troy was picked to win the West. I don't know that that was a mortal lock, but it makes sense. I think what happens, and we talked about this yesterday, it's so hard to know who's going to be what anymore. We talked about that over and over last year, and I think it's even worse this year. And so the natural inclination is if you were good last year, you're going to be good this year. Now, it doesn't always work out that way. And the other natural inclination is if you weren't very good last year, you're probably not going to be real good this year. Now, again, it doesn't always work out that way. We know the examples of that. We learned that last year in the NFL with the Patriots. But it is it's just so the poll. Roughly, there were a couple teams that went up one or two spots, but roughly the poll, as it turned out, is very similar to how the final standings were a year ago. And again, that's natural. I mean, especially in this era where there's not a whole lot of information to 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 go by, and we're going to be talking about that. First two interviews we're going to do, or scheduled to do anyway, is Coach Napier, as I said earlier, from James Madison, and Coach Ronnie from Old Dominion. And last year at this media day, Dawson and I kind of agree. On paper, we kind of had that thought going in, and then the more you hear the coaches talk about their teams, and you hear all the comments on the stage, and we both came away with Old Dominion is the team that's going to take the big step forward, and they did. But like a lot of people, or a lot of teams, they lost their quarterback. I think they've got just one guy back on offense. Now they do have quite a bit back on defense, and they've had some really good defensive players and had a really nice defensive stretch last year. So they're probably a little more set up on defense than most teams are in the league. But we'll talk to Coach Ronnie about that today. And then, of course, in the second hour, we're going to be able to catch up with our old friend Dave Scholl. He's already in we got a chance to exchange a short conversation, and he's already in full-fledged Dave mode. So we're looking forward to that conversation. We text every once in a while, but we haven't spoken much recently, and so it'll be good to catch up with Dave. And then we're going to talk about one of the newcomers. I don't. I've heard some really positive talk about Coastal. I'm not sure why. I think some of that comes from in that area. Coach last year, Beck, was not real popular, and they didn't like the job he did. They got a new coach, and he did a good job at Missouri State, and he's coming over. And so we'll see how it goes with Coach Beard. Get a chance to meet him, and because I think Coastal Carolina is the team that I have. We don't really know what any of these teams are going to do because of all the newcomers, like we're going to talk about over and over and over and over again for 2 days here. But I think I have at least an idea about Coastal Carolina of any of the teams in the East. And so looking forward to talking to Coach Beard. You just never know exactly how things are going to go in the first year of a coach. There's so many behind the scenes obstacles that it's funny how we are like the team that we follow the most. We know some of the behind the scenes obstacles that other people on the outside don't know about, and then we sometimes you kind of assume, well, you're the only ones that have those obstacles that a lot of people don't know about. Well, every school has obstacles. I mentioned that yesterday. Coach Napier used to say that all the time, and Coach Des says it too. It's just like every school's got problems. Every coach has issues. Whether you have for this level, all the money like JMU, or you have like no money like the Cajuns or ULM, every coach has issues and problems and obstacles. And if not, um, James Madison wouldn't have beat Georgia State by one time. They beat them by a touchdown last year. It's still the most amazing thing to me. James Madison did not lose a conference game. Georgia State did not win a conference game. And I think their closest, most competitive conference game was against Georgia State last year. It's funny how that works out. Of course, that also goes to show you how different teams are. It's one of the things I talk about. It's not who you play, it's when you play them. Because some of us have the idea, which is why the whole college thing of how they evaluate things is just absolutely absurd. How you are in week 1 or week 2 and how you are in week 9, 10, and 11, it's not remotely the same for almost anyone. And so we try to evaluate teams, and when you play a game in late August or early September, for that game to define your season, I just think it's absolutely a complete lack of understanding of how sports works. But anyway, that's just me. Um, and so that again, that was early in the year. James Madison's offense had some struggles early in the year. They got off to some slow starts early in the year. They got off to a pretty slow start against the Cajuns. The Cajuns played them fairly early in the year, and by the end of the year, they were humming pretty good. And Georgia State wasn't remotely capable of holding anyone. The only team they held to under like 21 points last year was James Madison. It's just, again, funny how that works. But we're going to be talking, catching up on all these teams and try to get an idea, at least, of what we're looking at going into the Sun Belt Conference race. And, man, what are we, 6 weeks away? Because it was we are still now just in the middle of July. So let's do this. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, hopefully we'll be talking with James Madison head football coach Billy Napier next. Stay tuned.
This is Footnotes, live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Delta Media Corps is helping your kids head back to school in style, powered by Cosmetology School of Lafayette. This school year, we want to ease the pain on the pocketbook for parents by giving free haircuts on Wednesday, July 22nd from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. This is for kids ages 5 to 12 only. A parent or a guardian must be present and sign a waiver for the free haircut. So join us at Cosmetology School of Lafayette at 5520 Johnson Street on Wednesday, July 22nd for free back-to-school haircuts.
Hello, everyone. This is Jeff Palermo. Join us on Tuesday nights for Tiger Rag Radio. Myself, Todd Horn, and Glenn Gilbo give you the latest happenings in Tiger Town and across the SEC. We talk to coaches, analysts, and those in the know when it comes to the Tigers and the Southeastern Conference. We cover all the sports: football, baseball, basketball, softball, and gymnastics. That's Tuesday nights right here on ESPN 103.7 in Lafayette and 104.1 in Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
This is your Chiropractic Expert Minute, brought to you by Dr. Quentin Briscoe, D.C., chiropractic physician.
Injured in a car accident? Confused about what to do next? At Briscoe Chiropractic, we have been treating auto accident injuries for almost 2 decades. We focus on the diagnosing and treatment of injuries related to motor vehicle accidents, providing comprehensive care while documenting your injuries. Even minor accidents can cause injuries that may not show up right away. Ignoring these injuries could lead to chronic pain and long-term issues. At Briscoe Chiropractic, we focus on treating accident-related injuries. Our chiropractic care focuses on realigning your spine and reducing pain and helping your body heal naturally. Don't wait until the pain worsens. Early treatment is key to a full recovery.
To schedule an appointment with Briscoe Chiropractic, visit drqmb.com or call 337-534-0091. That's drqmb.com or 337-534-0091. Briscoe Chiropractic, where recovery is no accident.
Hi, I'm Nancy Landry.
No matter what part of our great state you call home, Louisiana's elections are an important part of who we are. In 2026, closed party primaries will change how some of those elections happen, so you'll want to know what to do. Keeping your registration current ensures you'll get the right party-based ballot. Remember, this change only applies to certain offices.
To learn more, visit govote.com or download the GoVote app.
Paid for by the Louisiana Secretary of State's office.
Oh, look who's here.
Everybody Loves Raymond is on MeTV.
Who told you that?
Raymond!
America's #1 classic TV network.
Nothing even comes close.
Enjoy 2 back-to-back episodes every weeknight.
We're doing it twice.
Watch Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah, it's all about you, Raymond.
Weeknights starting at 8 on MeTV.
Watch MeTV Acadiana on KLWB, over the air on channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
School sports are played by humans, coached by humans, and officiated by humans. So the next time you're sitting in the stands at a school athletic event, please remember this and maintain your humanity, especially when it comes to judging and critiquing athletes, coaches, and officials. Please show your fellow humans some respect. They'll appreciate your empathy.
This message presented by the LHSAA and the Louisiana High School Athletic Directors Association.
You're listening to ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles. Your home for the best local sports talk in Southwest Louisiana.
All righty. Welcome back. We are at Sunbelt Conference Media Days in the Marriott Warehouse District in downtown New Orleans, Convention Center Boulevard. Looking forward to Coach Napier is on the other side of the room here and finishing up an interview, and he's on his way here, so we'll be talking to him very shortly here. Looking forward to talking to Coach Napier. Haven't seen him in about 4 years. You too. How are you? Come sit down, Coach. Right here. He's got get new color scheme going. See the purple jacket? How are you, Coach? Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Turn that out.
Good. Yeah, we're good.
There you go.
Well,
good, man.
It's good to see you.
It's great to see you.
A lot has changed since we last saw each other.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. Well, so it's got to be weird. Like, really, I was joking, but I'm sure you did a lot of red, and you got blue, and then now you got purple. So you can't. There's not a lot like carryover there.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just wear what my wife tells me to wear.
I understand how that goes. Well, what's the last few months? What's it been like for you this off season? I'm sure you got a lot of catching up to do here.
Yeah, I would say it's been a lot of fun. I have to compliment our staff. I think we hired really well. It's been fun to watch these guys, execute a new process. I think that we inherited 49 players from the team last year, 63 new players. Coach Chesney took the majority of the building with him. So we've hired like 38 new people, all the way down to the trainer, to the equipment manager, to the SID. I mean, everybody was gone.
Yeah.
So it's been fun. JMU, we have really good alignment. I think our administration, the leadership, very fluid, problem solvers. They work with you. I think there's good working dialogue there. And they're committed to winning. I think they, but I would just say in general, it's been a lot of fun. There's a purity of football at this level that I appreciate. A lot of our kids, they're the underdog. They have a chip on their shoulder. They have a lot to prove. They love football. They want to win. And I think the academics at JMU, we're getting a kid who is really serious about his academics. That's been pretty neat to be a part of. But yeah, I love building teams. So this is a challenge. We have the most new players of any team in our conference.
So obviously, when you came to the Cajuns, they were, I think, coming off a 4-8 season, something like that. And this is obviously very different. You're coming off the college football playoff. It's an established program. But in terms of just numbers and building a roster, it's probably not that different. How different and similar is it to where you were when you got to Lafayette?
Yeah, I think we were in a similar range. I mean, I think it was like 68 that first year at Louisiana. Those were different days. Those were the hard cap 25. You had blue shirts, you had pay for ones. I mean, you had to work all the angles. How we build teams is different, but it's definitely the same in regards to, like, you got to field a team that can be competitive and win this league. You have revenue sharing, but you don't have the chaos that you have at maybe LSU or Florida.
Right.
It's not as chaotic as it is there. Yeah, I mean, we did 64 official visits in 19 days. In the middle of winter.
Right.
In Harrisonburg, Virginia. So, and we're hiring coaches. The key thing I would say that has allowed us to get off to a good start has been being there for the CFP. That doesn't happen in football.
Yes.
We got a chance to watch practice. I was able to hire the personnel people, get them there so they could help. We evaluated the team. we knew who was leaving, who was staying. We knew who we needed to try to retain. And then we went to work and put our plan together for the portal. We added a few extra high school players, but most of it was, portal work. So we worked out of a hotel like a bowl game.
Yeah.
The staff was in the facility working, getting ready to play Oregon. We're there. We're independent. We're trying to hire. We're interviewing coaches in conference rooms.
What a bizarre situation.
Set up. We got 6 computer stations set up in a conference room. We're grinding on the tape. We're working from 5 in the morning till midnight. And it was just a blur. So, but I think that the key was the ability to assess the roster. And I had to calibrate, like, okay, hey, at this level, back to this level, what do we need? So you're getting to watch the conference champ practice.
Yeah.
Okay, hey, this team won the league. What do we need to go do it again? So that part helped us hit the ground running. And then you inherit positive energy, healthy culture, a lot of momentum.
Yes.
And you learn from those coaches that have been there. I know all these guys that have worked there, so the assistants and the head coaches. So that has helped. You learn the place just like we did at Louisiana, and then you try to build your plan and your brand around kind of the strengths of the place. And this has been a lot of fun to be a part of.
Again, we're speaking with new James Madison head football coach Billy Napier. So the players that are back, schemes are going to be pretty different.
Yeah, I think they're translating. I think they ran things that were similar. We don't have a ton of proven players back. There's 49 guys that were on the team last year. Most of them are rotational players.
Right.
Petaway is back off the injury. He rushed for 950 2 years ago. The center is back. Wiz is back, the slot receiver. And then defensively, Amar Thomas is an edge player that was a starter. And then we have a lot of rotational players, guys that were in the 2 deep, maybe not the clear-cut starter, but are back. But there's a handful of young players that have good skill sets. But we're going to be a lot of new faces.
What about, you had a quarterback last year that got off to a little bit of a slow start offensively and picked up steam as the season went on. He left for Central Florida. So where are you in that position?
I feel confident. We have several players I think can play winning football. Reminds me a little bit of that first year. I knew we had a good player. It's just like, who's going to win the job?
Right.
I feel that way. Some teams may be insecure about their quarterback spot. I'm not really.
Is it a true battle, or is there a front runner?
No, I would say J.C. Evans, Camden Coleman, Arrington Maiden, Davie Belfort made the move to receiver. He could still play in some Wildcat type stuff, but I think in general, those 3 guys, we're going to divide up the reps 3 ways. The next decision for us is, when do we go to 2 guys?
Mm-hmm.
When do we declare, hey, he's out, and then now we divide it up, let him shoot it out. The way we practice, there's a ton of reps to hand out. So I feel good about it. We're 52 days away.
Yeah.
We'll start our mini camp, kind of a 2-week process next week, and then they'll get 4 or 5 days off before training camp starts. But I like the guys that we have. I'm excited about coaching those guys. They've gotten a lot better. 2 of them were on the team last year. One kid's a Richmond kid that played it. He played 11, 12 games, and then the other kid has been at JMU for a number of years. And both those guys are smart. They know the place. And then the Memphis backup is also on our team and is in the mix as well.
The thing that has made JMU special since I've seen them play when they joined the conference is especially up front defensively. You're just so unique, so aggressive. Now, with that aggressiveness comes a lot of penalties. I don't remember you liking penalties all that much.
Yeah.
Aggressive ones maybe, but not as so. What about the penalty part? But how do you kind of maintain that just ferociousness they play with up front defensively?
Yeah, I think you're spot on. You look at the formula for JMU; it's been exceptional defense. Near the top of the league every year.
Yeah.
And if you're good on defense, it starts up front. It took us a little while to get there at Louisiana. Defensively, we were terrible in the beginning.
Right.
And we got better each year. So I do think we did a good job in the portal. I think we have depth. We're going to be able to rotate a lot of guys up front. The second and third level of the defense is where we have the most work to do. We have to develop depth at inside linebacker, safety. Getting the best 5 DBs on the field is going to be really important. But I like the group. I think that our guys did good work in January. People were picking up the phone, and it's one of those places you got to kind of go to see it to understand it.
Right.
When you call a kid and say James Madison, the first thing they do is Google, like, where the heck is that at?
Yes, exactly.
So, and then you get there. You've been there.
Yes.
So you get there and you're like, whoa,
well, yeah.
Where did this place come from?
Right.
And so, and I think I've said this publicly. Before I accepted the job, I actually got on a commercial flight and flew up there without anybody knowing and drove around and evaluated everything.
Yep.
And I felt the same way. So if we get them there, we have a better shot. And people were picking up the phone because of the CFP. And we got a lot of good players on visits, and we were able to close them out.
Have you got a sense yet how challenging is scheduling's always challenged, but you're like cream of the crop now at the mid-major level. So how much of a challenge is scheduling going to be?
It's tough for us to get P4s to play us. VTech pulled out right after we got the job. And like next 2 days, they called and said, "Hey, we're out."
Yeah.
Now they gave us $800,000, which is always a good thing. But I think we're going to San Diego State. We're going east to west.
Right.
So we have to come back and play ODU on the road the next week. And then we play UConn late in the year on the road. So it's a battle. No P4 will pick up the phone. I think what you're going to see, and our athletic director, Matt Roan, is kind of trending this way, is to play the other best top group of 6 teams.
Yeah.
So San Diego State, UConn, I think you're going to see us play some of the other teams in the future. Pac-12, American, even some of these Mountain West teams, some of that going on.
Have you got a sense? I mean, you won that long ago. You were in the Sun Belt, but a lot changes in 4 years. And this is a different Sun Belt than you left, I think.
It is. I think the way you build teams is different. I think it's still tough, still physical, still well coached. The marquee player doesn't hang around.
Yeah.
He's out.
Yeah.
So the first team all conference, it's like 95% of those guys are gone.
Yes.
So the 100 players from this league last year went up to P4. Then you got a coach that goes, coaches are leaving. You see coaches get opportunities. So I think it's still that type of league. I just think that year to year, there's no familiar faces.
Right.
There's still talent. There's still athletes. They're still tough and physical. The quality football, you're just 1 year at a time, one team at a time.
Absolutely.
To me, the biggest adjustment is that your process that you're building as a team, an organization, is annual now. It's not. We'd like to say that part of our roster we're going to retain and develop. And sure, we're going to sign 25 high school players every year. We're going to evaluate like crazy. We're going to try to find the diamonds in the rough.
Yeah.
And can we retain? How long can we keep them? When they play well, can we keep them another year or not? That's the whole key. So revenue share contributes to that, but the money that we have in this league is not going to keep a guy from going to Central Florida for $2 million or Auburn for $1.2 million. It's not
Right.
going to happen, right? So I think you have to celebrate those things. Like, hey, you can't get mad at the kid. It's no different than a coach. Like,
right.
If LSU called you and said, "Hey, we're tripling your salary and you're moving to Baton Rouge,"
right?
You say, "Yes, sir. I'll see you on Monday."
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You'd be like, "Hey, guys, I love you guys in Lafayette, but my ass is out." So coaches are no different. I tell the coaches all the time, "Why are you frustrated? You would do the same thing."
Yeah.
So,
no, absolutely.
I think that it's just part of the game, and you got to get comfortable with one team at a time, one staff at a time, one process at a time. So you got to build your process with the expectations of attrition.
All right. I wish we had more time. We don't, but I'm sure there's some familiar names on your staff and around you that fans in Lafayette would know.
Yeah, Rob Sales with us, the offensive line coach. Jacob LaFrance was our DPP. William Piegler, he's been at UL a number of times with HUD and then worked with me in personnel. Trying to think of who else.
No former players?
Levi Lewis was there. Yeah.
I've heard of him.
Yeah. Levi, I forgot about that. Levi is our assistant receivers intern. I'm trying to get him up and running. That guy's just built to be a football coach.
Absolutely.
So I think
by the way, if you have anything to do with this curse, like Levi played every game for 4 years, and since you left, it's taken 3 quarterbacks for Coach Dez to get through a season.
Yeah.
Can we do anything about that?
Well, Mike, if the quarterback didn't get hurt 2 years ago, they win it.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. I mean, they did a phenomenal job with that team. I watched that team, and I think last year we had the same issue. Our quarterback was banged up. So, look, I think in college football right now, the reality is you're going to need your backup's going to play.
Yeah.
In that league I was in for 4 years, backup better be good. I learned that lesson last year. I just think you got to have and that's what we did. We went out. I said, hey, like right now, we got 3 high school quarterbacks committed. So I can remember George Munoz. He's still there, I think.
Yes.
Okay. He told me when I was interviewing him in the changeover, he said, you can never have enough quarterbacks. Okay. He said, if you run across one, sign him.
Yes.
So we've always taken that approach. At Louisiana, that 1 year, we took 4.
Yes.
So I think you just got to get them in the building and let them shoot it out, and you got to create depth. It's harder now because of the roster limits. People don't think about that. We don't have those 135 player teams we used to have.
Right.
We had 4 groups going. Now you're 105. So that 4th quarterback, he ain't get the same reps he used to get. So I think that's a big piece. That's why you're seeing teams take the portal quarterback, because he's developed.
Right.
It's harder to develop the quarterback because of the roster limits. So I think that's a big piece of the equation. So
it's a whole new world.
Now this quarterback they got coming back, Lunch.
Yes.
He's a football player.
He's a football player. Yes.
He's a problem.
Yes.
Let me tell you something. The Cajuns are a sleeper in this league.
Oh no, I think they've got. I think they're going to be good, and unfortunately, they got to go play you this year.
No.
Well, that's true. That was last year.
That's right.
Yeah. Last year, I should have known that.
We're not on the schedule.
Good, and that's good.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't a fun trip, but the Cajuns actually played pretty well in that game.
They played really well
in that game.
Halftime, I mean, huge shift in momentum right there at the end of the half.
Yeah.
In the second.
Well, the goal line stand. Yeah, it was huge. Correct. Well, look, I appreciate it.
Good
Great to see you. Looking forward to following you this year. Good luck to you.
You got it. Thank you, Kevin.
We'll be back. Stay tuned.
This is Footnotes, live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
The American League took home the Midsummer Classic crown last night after beating the National League 4-0. Yankees' Cody Bellinger and Ben Rice picked up back-to-back RBI to give the AL a 3-run lead in the first. Then in the 8th, Miguel Vargas hit a solo shot to left to seal the 4-0 win. The MLB All-Star break will continue today, with the regular season getting back underway tomorrow night with the Phillies hosting the Mets. Spain is heading back to the World Cup final after knocking off France 2-0 yesterday in the World Cup semifinals in Dallas. With that win, Spain has now beaten France in 3 straight semifinal matches and will now play in the World Cup final for the second time in their history. Spain will get the winner of today's semifinal matchup between England and Argentina. The last time these two teams met was in 2005, while their last competitive matchup came in the group stage of the 2002 World Cup. Kickoff is set for 2 o'clock this afternoon from Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. LSU football has released the names of the 3 attendees that will be accompanying Coach Kiffin to Tampa Bay next week for SEC Media Days. Linebackers TJ Daugherty and Whit Weeks and tight end Tradez Green will represent LSU at the podium. The Tigers are scheduled to speak next Thursday, the last day of the event. McNeese Athletics announced yesterday that they will have a new sponsorship patch on all jerseys for the upcoming year. Navarre Chevrolet, who also holds the naming rights to Cowboy Stadium, will have their sponsorship patch on all Cowboys and Cowgirls jerseys moving forward. I'm Blake Purser, and you're listening to ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, your home for the LSU Tigers and the Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you. ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles is packing its bags and headed to Tampa for SEC Media Days. Tune in starting Monday, July 20th, as RP3 and Mesh and The Lowdown with D'Lo will be broadcasting live from Radio Row for ESPN's Live from SEC Media Day coverage, powered by Service Chevrolet Cadillac. Kick off the 2026 season in Tampa with ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Ozempic, Wegovy, GLP-1s. Every day, one thought haunts you. What if I stop? A 2026 British Medical Journal study says you're going to gain every pound back. So, what now? Well, there's an answer. Alex Goen patented hypnosis. The Journal of the American Medical Association says adding behavior therapy to GLP-1s produces 3 times the results than GLP-1s alone. And hypnosis is behavior therapy concentrated. Alex Goen Hypnosis is the only U.S. patented hypnosis proven useful by the U.S. Patent Office. Engineered to destroy cravings, make you full on half the food, and kill late-night fridge attacks. Only $59.99 or your money back. Weight loss seminar Saturday, July 18th at the Hilton Garden Inn Cajun Dome, 11 a.m. Sign up at alexgoen.com. That's ALEXGOEN.com.
Need peace of mind with your estate planning? Turn to Beal & Hebert, your trusted hometown lawyers. At Beal & Hebert, we make estate planning simple and stress-free, ensuring your legacy is secure and your future is in the right hands. Don't wait. Schedule your consultation today at BealHebert.com. That's BealHebert.com. Safeguarding your tomorrow today.
Looking for a great midweek treat? Come to Mezcal Mexican Restaurant every Wednesday and Thursday and enjoy their sizzling fajita special. $13.99 plus tax all day long. Don't forget all day 2-for-1 margaritas. Are you planning a large party? Let Mezcal handle it. Call 337-484-3298 and Mezcal will take care of everything. That's a fajita special, $13.99 plus tax all day Wednesday and Thursday at Mezcal Mexican Restaurant, 3546 Ambassador Capri, next to Rooms to Go. Come taste the flavor of Mezcal.
Hi, I'm Nancy Landry. No matter what part of our great state you call home, Louisiana's elections are an important part of who we are. In 2026, closed party primaries will change how some of those elections happen, so you'll want to know what to do. Keeping your registration current ensures you'll get the right party-based ballot. Remember, this change only applies to certain offices.
To learn more, visit GoVote.com or download the GoVote app.
Paid for by the Louisiana Secretary of State's office.
This is ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, broadcasting live from the Beal & Hebert studios in Upper Lafayette. Beal & Hebert, Acadiana's hometown lawyers. Back to more of Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Welcome back to Footnotes, and I was apologizing to Coach Ronnie. I said last year he's my favorite non-UL football coach in the Sun Belt. We just had talked to Coach Napier in 4 years, so we went a little long. But how are you, Coach?
I'm good. I like I said, he's the new and the old guy, right? So everyone's got stories about him, but also he's a new guy. So I'm all for it. That's fine. I'm the old hat. I'm the one who's been at the school the longest so far. So I've got nothing more to say.
Last year, y'all made a huge, just played really good football for almost all season, finished with a flurry. And like we are, you can't even hardly celebrate it because as soon as the season's over, who's leaving and all that. So how did y'all make out in all that? I know you lost your quarterback and you have not a lot back on offense, but y'all probably have as much back on defense as any unit in the whole Sun Belt.
Yeah, I think that's what it's about. I mean, I'm more into the let's celebrate who stays, right? And we have one returning starter on offense, Devin Roche, who's here today with us and had a really good end of the season and ran the ball really well, particularly in the bowl game. Did some great things, punt returning and that sort of thing too. And then on defense, we got a lot of guys back, defensive line, linebacker in the secondary. I mean, and so, we have, 7 starters back, but we really have maybe 9 of our top 14 guys from last year are back. And in this day and age, that's a heck of a lot. So, I'm excited about that. And then coaching staff wise, we got a lot of guys back too. Did lose our offensive coordinator, but really excited about Coach Cook, and he was on staff last year as our wide receiver coach. So excited to see, how he's going to put his own stamp on things and that sort of thing. But being able to have our defensive coordinator back and our special teams coordinator, our academic strength staff, support staff, all those guys back, that's a huge thing for our continuity.
So Colton was a unique quarterback. I mean, he had unique skills, could run the football and all. And so how, with the guys that you got competing, how much are things going to change, or do you have someone that kind of has his skill set?
Well, yeah. I mean, we got 3 guys competing. When you look at Quinn Hennikel, he started 2 games for us. One of the games he was Sun Belt Player of the Week. The other game he was Bowl MVP. So he's had a pretty good track record there, and he can run. Quinn's shown that before. He can run and throw it as well. Then we've got Ryan Huff, and Ryan's a guy who's returning from us last year and can really throw the football. A young kid who's still developing, but can do some special things and is more than an adequate runner. He's a good athlete. And then we have Jackson Potter, who started games at Washington State and can really sling it around. He's a better athlete than people give him credit for. Can move around and did that in the spring. And so, yeah, we're still going to have a lot of that, but we're also going to play to our strengths, right? That one of Colton's strengths was running the ball, so we did that more than maybe we would. But we're going to go to the strengths of who our quarterback is.
So am I hearing a true quarterback battle, or does the bowl MVP kind of have a leg up?
No. I mean, I think it's a true 3-way race at this point. Each guy is going to get an opportunity. Each guy took reps with the ones in the spring, and that'll continue. Obviously, as soon as we know who the quarterback is, we're going to go with them. But right now, it's still a battle.
Now, Devin, big pay guy, not the guy you want to pound 30 times in the middle of the line. So what about the rest of the running back group?
Yeah, we've got a good group there. I mean, I think now Devin, I would say this is he's a tougher kid than you probably imagine. And he's one of our best, if not our best pass protector back there, although he's not a very big guy. So, he does some good things and he can tote the rock quite a few times if we need him to. But we've got, probably 4 running backs that we feel like can play in games and guys that can break free. And we're still, we added that room late a little bit. And so there's some guys that can make some plays, but we feel comfortable having 4 running backs. We won't play 4 in a game necessarily, but we do feel comfortable having it because those guys tend to miss a couple of games here and there.
Right. Last year, in what areas? I mean, y'all were like a lot of coaches, like the Cajuns were for a lot of programs, like the Cajuns were a few years ago, where you just at the end of each year you'd have 3 or 4 games. Like, man, we should have won that.
Yeah. No doubt.
What happened? Like we should have a better record, and y'all kind of got over that last year. What do you think you learned that's sustainable going into this season to do that?
Well, I think what we learned is just how we continue to learn just how important every possession is, right? I mean, it's amazing what one possession can, it's a one possession game, and then all of a sudden they can take lead, or all of a sudden you're up by 14 points, and the difference that can have. We finished. There's a stat called game control, and we finished 11th in the country in game control last year. And 7 of the 10 teams above us went to the playoffs. So, I mean, we did have control of a lot of games last year, and I think that was a big difference. Before, we'd set the record for most one-score games in the 2 previous years,
Yeah.
and we'd won our fair share, but those are going to be hard one-score games. If you're making a living and every game's a one-score
It's
game,
tough.
it's tough, and it's a bounce here, a bounce there, and all of a sudden you're in trouble. So I think that being able to say to ourselves, hey, we need to be able to turn on and hey, this possession is important, not because we're already winning, but to add to it and go up by 12, we'll go up by 14, 16. Those things are critical.
When Coach Napier's last 2 years, they won every one-score game, and when he left, I'm like, I know we have a turnover. You're not going to win every one-score game for 2 or 3 years. It's just not going to happen.
No, I mean it's literally it's not going to happen, and
Yeah.
and if you look over the course of teams, like even teams that do very well one year and go 6-1, it's going to even itself out. Even with coaches, sometimes coaches are given the credit of, hey, they win every one-score game, and then you look over the course of their career, then it just doesn't happen that way, especially in a league like this where the talent is so close, right? Every team, every game time you go into the game, you're like, I mean, this is a toss-up game. I mean, and that's what this conference is all about, which is why I love coaching in it.
All right, when y'all get to August and y'all start doing drills, how often are you going to talk about ball security?
Oh, we talk about it every day. I mean, it is one of the stats that's proven in this league to be a big factor, and then proven overall. I mean, for us personally, since I've been the head coach, we have not lost a conference game that we didn't turn the ball over. So if we have 0 turnovers, we don't lose, and so it's something that we're going to talk about. But it's also on defense. We've got to win and create turnovers, and fumbles are important to cause.
Yes,
but it's a little bit of luck once they hit the ground, right?
Right.
You're not going to always get those. Interceptions are where you can really turn the tide and get a lot of turnovers and that sort of thing. And we did a better job of catching those balls last year. We forced them with a good pass rush and that sort of thing, but we forced fumbles. I got that. But that's a little bit of luck from year to year to year to year to year on whether you're going to recover them. The interceptions are something you got to come up with.
So I'm hearing you feel like y'all are ready to maintain. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we've established, we've had great support from our president down to our AD, but even our fans, right? And I think this is one of those things where we built this thing for the long term. Now, is it going to change from year to year on how you win? Yeah. Last year, I mean, we set a record. Not sure. Are we going to do that again, or are we going to throw it around? Last year we really improved our sack numbers. Obviously, would love to do that, especially with the guys we returned on the defensive line, but you don't know, right? So I think it's going to be year to year on how we do it, but the overall of playing hard and playing violent, I think that's something that we've established that we can kind of hang our hat on.
The fact that you're still here, I know you have some changes on your staff, but the fact that you're still here, there's got to be a little bit of a feather in your cap because you got some new coaches and some second-year coaches that are still kind of building their programs in y'all division.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of weird that I'm now the longest tenured coach in this league.
Right.
I still feel like I'm a young head coach. My face doesn't show it as much anymore, but I still feel that I'm a young head coach. But the reality is I'm the longest tenured one in this league, and that's a crazy deal. And it's led to some really cool opportunities, like being on the AFCA board and being able to be part of that, and that's those are some special things that I never thought I was going to do.
Right.
And we have a lot of guys that are on our staff that are back. Our defensive coordinator's been with me the whole time. Our safeties coach the whole time. Our running back coach the whole time. Our special teams coordinator the whole time. Our D-line coach the whole time that we've played games. I mean, so that's one of those things that we've had a lot of guys who have been with me for a very, very long time.
Well, none of us know what's about to happen, but that makes it interesting, I guess.
I think that's why this league is such a great league to watch, and I think that it's why the midweek games that we play, the Tuesday and Thursday and Wednesday games are so important for the rest of the country to be able to check out this league and see that it's great football versus very, very hotly contested games, and I think that that's one of the things that makes this league great and makes it fun to coach in.
Always great talking to you, Coach.
All right.
Good luck to you. Thank you very much. Coach Ricky Ronnie of the Old Dominion Monarchs. And no, I certainly kind of admired their progress from afar because I kind of get how the Cajuns were when you just had a couple frustrating years with so many close losses, and they kind of got over that last year. All right, we'll take a timeout. We'll be back.
This is Footnotes, Live on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station. ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles is the proud winner of 4 2026 LAB Prestige Awards, including Best Use of Digital Media, Foot's Friday Fury, Best Live On-Site Remote for our Super Bowl Radio Row coverage, Best Promotion for our No Shave November initiative, and Radio Young Professional of the Year for Dawson Iserloh. We're proud of being Southwest Louisiana's sports station and are humbled to be recognized by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters.
Ready to transform your backyard into the summer paradise you've always dreamed of? With Duplessis Builders custom gunite pool packages, we make it simple to own a stunning, long-lasting, in-ground pool built just for you. Choose from classic designs, all customizable to fit your space, style, and budget. Our pools come with quality finishes, energy-efficient equipment, beautiful lighting, and professional installation from excavation to decking so you can dive in before the next heat wave hits. Don't just dream it, build it. Visit duplessisbuilders.net.
Imagine a place where wellness, luxury, and community come together. Welcome to City Club at River Ranch, Acadiana's premier private club. Enjoy a state-of-the-art fitness center, exceptional tennis and pickleball programs, resort-style amenities, and a vibrant social atmosphere. Whether you're pursuing your fitness goals or expanding your social circle, City Club offers an unmatched member experience. Visit cityclubatriverranch.com today. City Club at River Ranch, where lifestyle meets distinction.
Acadiana area businesses. Is it time to make an impact? Time for more traffic, more engagement, time for more customers? Then it's time to make a splash with Bass. Bass is now offering digital marketing, indoor and outdoor digital signage, billboards, and video production to help you reach more customers and close more business. For over 30 years, Bass has helped our customers tell their story. Bass Companies. Remember, a business without a sign is a sign of no business. Advertise with Bass. Find us around Acadiana or at bassltd.com.
Did you know you can get great tasting Clear Springs artesian water delivered to your office or your doorstep at home? Clear Springs is 100% local with their own bottling facility at the world-famous Kentwood Aquifer, no chemicals added. Just pure Kentwood, Louisiana artesian water. Clear Springs Water offers delivery of 5 or 3 gallon water service with a hot and cold temperature water cooler or even single-serve bottles delivered to your home or office. Easy to reach, clearsprings.net, then contact us tab or 337-519-3563.
Get ready for one of South Louisiana's favorite summer traditions. The 17th annual STM Fishing Rodeo is July 31st and August 1st at Quintana Landing in Sycamore Point. Whether you're chasing the winning catch or just looking for a great weekend on the water, enjoy great fishing, exciting prizes, delicious food, and a fun atmosphere, all while supporting St. Thomas More Catholic High School. Register by July 24th at noon to guarantee your official event t-shirt. Register today at stmcougars.net/fishing.
Back to the sports talk you not only want, but need. This is ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Yeah, welcome back. Yeah, I made a snafu. No, the Cajuns. Coach Des might have tapped me on the shoulder and said, watch out now. You know, a couple years ago, the Cajuns played ODU, went to that game, went to JMU last year, and actually played pretty well instead of the goal line stand at the end of the first half that we talked about. But no, the Cajuns don't need JMU or ODU on their schedule this year for sure. And so we'll see how it goes. You know, the Marshall game went pretty good last year, but it wasn't a whole lot of fun until the very end of that game. And so, no, it's you don't want to be messing with ODU and JMU. But it'll be an interesting schedule, and we'll talk more with that when the West coach gets teams get here tomorrow and we talk to Coach Des. But it seems like the East has a reputation of being better than the West, and that may play out. Obviously having JMU and I think JMU and ODU are both really good, but when you look at there are the teams that there are 7 teams that have their starting quarterback back, and there are 7 teams that have new quarterbacks. 5 of the 7 teams that have their quarterback back are in the West, not the East. Now, like in the OEDU situation, his quarterback got a little playing time last year, so he's not going to probably be a totally green one, even though he's not a returning starter and technically he's in the quarterback battle. So some of them may have gotten some playing time, but no, I think in terms of the consistency that you get from having a returning starting quarterback, the West has that advantage. So we'll see how that plays out. Dave Schultz on the other side. Stay tuned.
Looking for your next firearm? Come visit Louisiana Gun Shop in Broussard. We've got financing options, 12 months same as cash, plus layaways up to 90 days. With a wide selection of new and used guns, we've got something for every budget, big or small. Have an old gun collecting dust? Trade it in or turn it into cash. Need parts? We've got the largest selection of AR-15 components in the area, from springs to grips and buttstocks. Explore our ever-changing used inventory online at LouisianaGunShop.com. Louisiana Gun Shop, your one-stop shop for firearms and more.
Stop smoking with Alex Goen patented hypnosis.
My name's Robin Fletcher. I've smoked for 46 years. I went to a seminar in March. I took my 3 sisters and my brother-in-law and my sister's best friend and them went. None of them have smoked a cigarette, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart.
My name is Jen Carpenter. I went to a seminar to stop smoking, and it worked.
The only stop smoking method in America proven useful by the U.S. Patent Office because it reprograms your subconscious. Alex Goen breaks your connection to cigarettes, coffee, stress, driving, even other smokers. No cravings, irritability, or weight gain. You walk in a smoker and you walk out free. Only $59.99 or your money back. Stop Smoking Seminar Saturday, July 18th, the Hilton Garden Inn Cajun Dome at 2 p.m. Weight loss at 11 a.m. Sign up at alexgoen.com. That's ALEXGOEN. alexgoen.com.
The heart of Acadiana is its local businesses, the people, families, and companies that help our communities thrive. Here's a message from a proud certified South Louisiana business.
Candyland Cottage is the place to satisfy all your cravings. Find delicious ice creams, fresh fudges, truffles, hot dogs, sausage po' boys, Frito pies, and homemade shakes. Visit us in Scott and Rain for a sweet treat. Plan your next birthday party or field trip at Candyland Cottage.
Shop local, support local. Certified South Louisiana.
Live from Upper Lafayette, this is ESPN 1037 KLWB Karen Crow Lafayette, KLCJ-FM Oak Grove Lake Charles 1041, a Delta Media station.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit B1Bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
The American League took home the Midsummer Classic crown last night after beating the National League 4-0. Yankees' Cody Bellinger and Ben Rice picked up back-to-back RBI to give the AL a 3-run lead in the first. Then in the 8th, Miguel Vargas hit a solo shot to left to seal the 4-0 win. The MLB All-Star break will continue today with the regular season getting back underway tomorrow night with the Phillies hosting the Mets. Spain is heading back to the World Cup final after knocking off France 2-0 yesterday in the World Cup semifinals in Dallas. With that win, Spain has now beaten France in 3 straight semifinal matches and will now play in the World Cup final for the second time in their history. Spain will get the winner of today's semifinal matchup between England and Argentina. The last time these two teams met was in 2005, while their last competitive matchup came in the group stage of the 2002 World Cup. Kickoff is set for 2 o'clock this afternoon from Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. LSU football has released the names of the 3 attendees that will be accompanying Coach Kiffin to Tampa Bay next week for SEC Media Days. Linebackers TJ Daugherty and Whit Weeks and tight end Tradez Green will represent LSU at the podium. The Tigers are scheduled to speak next Thursday, the last day of the event. McNeese Athletics announced yesterday that they will have a new sponsorship patch on all jerseys for the upcoming year. Navarre Chevrolet, who also holds the naming rights to Cowboy Stadium, will have their sponsorship patch on all Cowboys and Cowgirls jerseys moving forward. I'm Blake Persher, and you're listening to ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, your home for the LSU Tigers and the Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit B1Bank.com to find a location near you. This is ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station. This is 2 hours of sports talk like none other. Footnotes with the man who speaks his own language.
Me fail English? That's impossible.
Your host, Kevin Foote.
Welcome back to Footnotes. We are in New Orleans, and downtown New Orleans, Convention Center Boulevard, the Marriott Warehouse District Hotel. And for Sunbelt Conference Media Days, we're doing the East. So we talked to Coach Napier, talked to Coach Ronnie. Looking forward to both of those. And then we get to reunite with Dave. How are you?
I'm good. I'm very good. So hashtag always a bright side, right?
Yes.
No base running mistakes by Jose Altuve yesterday?
Yeah, none. Man, he's the worst. He is the worst.
Nick, I let him right into that baby.
So are you the can we call you like Sunbelt Podcast King or what
I'll take that. Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
Sunbelt
I'll
Podcast
King. Yeah,
that's who Dave is. All right. So I want to start. So much is fascinating when you try to learn, okay, what's going to happen this year.
Sure.
James, we all know who James Madison is and what they did last year. And
That's
where
last year, though. Isn't it
Right.
last year?
Right. But you got a new coach. My and a new coaching staff. And obviously they've got more money than anyone in this conference and all. We know all that. But how easy do you think, or how convinced are you going to be that they're going to be able to duplicate how special James Madison's been up front on defense the last 2 years?
Oh, yeah, that's going to be tough. I mean, it's a whole new process. I think
Yes.
the offensive lineman and the running back are like the only two guys back from the two deep.
Right.
Right? It's a whole new thing. And I think I heard you talking about it, and we know this. You know, the reason Billy Napier was so successful in his 4 years, his starting quarterback started every game, whether it was Nunez the first year
Yeah.
or Levi Lewis the last three.
Yes.
Desimo can't go 3 weeks without having a new starting quarterback.
Right.
Meanwhile, 3 years.
Yes.
And so if you get the quarterback right, and that's what happened to him down in Gainesville, didn't get the quarterback right, whether it was on the field or the recruit or whatever happened, the quarterback did not get right.
Right.
And if you get that right, we'll see. Now I think ODU's pretty good. All right. Marshall's supposed to be pretty good. Coastal Carolina could surprise. We'll see what happens in year 2 of App State.
But Marshall's got to get better on defense. Like they
Well, sure. Yes.
I
Yes,
mean,
yes. But
I
they're
don't-
going to score a bunch of points.
Well, they're going
right?
to score a bunch of points.
You may only need 1 or 2 stops, to do that. If they score less than 28 points, you're going to be in good shape against Marshall. But yeah, I'm not. We don't know what to expect. We know Billy's going to. I think we think Billy's a good coach, right? Things didn't go well for him in Gainesville.
Yeah.
But all these coaches' picks came out. They don't even know what they have. Meanwhile, what the other teams have.
Right.
Tony Gibson admitted to me, I should have started Carlos Del Rio Wilson first game.
Right.
But in the spring, he wasn't live, or he was live. In fall ball, he's not, because we've got to protect him. So it's kind of like the closer coming in with a 5-run lead. Can't close it down because the adrenaline's not running. Well, he's better when he's live. So these things come, and we'll see how it goes. But do we think JMU is going to be good? Sure. Should they be crowned automatically? I mean, I don't know yet.
Early on last year,
If Colton Joseph was coming back, wouldn't ODU
I
be
would
number
pick
one?
ODU.
Yeah.
But early on last year, JMU's offense was not that good. Early on,
Quarterback was banged up still.
Yeah,
Correct.
I kind of feel like they'll be better, a little more efficient on offense, but I don't know if they'll be as good on defense. Is that what you're expecting or no?
Well, obviously, those defensive linemen all followed Chesney out to, so we don't know. we'll see, right? Some of the times I'm not sure I heard of Michael Green before he was Michael Green with, with Marshall, right, coming into the year. So we know about Donnie Smith this year on Troy, so we'll see how good he is. He's in the other division, but we just don't know. Are they going to be quite as good as they were? Probably not, because they were really good.
Coastal's the team I think I know. I have there's nothing, and then there's right above nothing. I know nothing about them compared to all these other teams.
So they got 4 quarterbacks. One came with the coach. One's a junior college guy who's got all the experience. One's a 4-star recruit who started out at Arkansas, and they got a freshman. So we're gonna put the freshman aside because it'd be tough to beat out those other guys. I kind of joked if we're playing the freshman, we've gone through 3 other guys.
Right.
So we'll see. I would think that it would be Trey Guerra is the junior college guy because he's got the experience playing. These other guys haven't played very much. I don't know anything. I don't know. I tried to ask off the record, but he wouldn't tell me, so I can say that. He didn't say anything. And so we'll see. Deuce Bailey is the guy from Missouri State who came with Coach Beard, so he's got the experience in the offense that Nip Katrina wants to run. But it is a whole new deal, right? And they're starting off with a bang. They get West Virginia to open up the season.
Right. So,
by the way, this is Footnotes on ESPN Southwest 1037 and 104.1 Lake Charles.
All right.
I'm Dave Schultz, host of Locked On Sunbelt and Sunbelt King. You got to say that a little bit more often so people know who you're talking to, Kevin.
All right. My old friend Billy used to tell me that all the time. All right. So, the Cajuns, what do you think? I mean, they've got.
Are they going to be able to feed them $800,000 out of the nutrition budget?
Well, they're going to feed them, just not as often.
Or not as good, right?
Right.
Please. The big thing about, these days is the same coach and the same quarterback. And the Cajuns are bringing them back. Zylan Perry and Bill Davis leaving is bad, right? It's not great. But the Cajuns usually have offensive linemen and running backs, right? Although I've been hearing about George Jackson for the better part of a half a decade. So let's see.
He's back.
Okay, right.
He's going to be here tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
He missed most of all of last season.
Didn't play the year before. And
I've
been hearing about him forever.
Yeah.
So let's see if he can get on the field and be productive because they've been saying he's been good forever.
Right.
Wide receivers couldn't catch a cold last year. All right. That changed. And I thought Desimo did the best coaching job. I'm going to go all blue chips. You a big fan of blue chips? Nick Nolte?
Yeah.
Blue chips?
I know what you're
Shaquille
talking
O'Neal,
about. Yeah.
Tony Hardaway, right?
Right.
The best coaching job I ever did was last year. These guys gave every ounce of everything.
No,
it wasn't good enough for you. It wasn't good enough for me. It wasn't good enough for them.
Yeah.
Mike Desimo did a heck of a job last year.
No, he did. He
Getting to
did.
that bowl game.
Kept it together.
That was absolutely.
But their offensive line was just a train wreck.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Even a better coaching job.
Yeah.
Right.
It was just it was a train wreck.
If we can keep them healthy, keep the quarterback on the field, and get the wide receivers to make a play, because that's the thing about the Cajuns. They've always had these wide receivers who, like Levi Lewis, his deep ball is last year. I don't think he wasn't quite as good as I was hoping it would be, but boy, he could throw it on a dime in his last year. If we can just get them to catch it on 3rd and 5 to get a first down.
Absolutely. The other big problem with the Cajuns, and we'll talk about it more tomorrow, their pass defense was terrible last year.
Well, you've been a big guy about not being able to stop the run in the middle linebackers.
Right. Well, but their pass defense was a little better than I thought it was going to be last year. Their pass defense was atrocious, so it's got to get a lot better. And
we'll starts up front with getting pressure on the quarterback. Yeah, that's.
So Troy, talking about pressure on the quarterback, they give up so many sacks, it's unbelievable. Right. If they get better at that, they got a quarterback back, they could be pretty good.
Well, yeah, they're the favorite, right?
Yeah.
They won the West. You got to keep Goose Crowder healthy. He hasn't been healthy for the better part of 2 seasons. You got to love anybody who actually gets his nickname from a movie, right? That's actually from the movie. Well, I can't think of Top Gun. All right.
Which I saw for the first time about 2 months ago.
The first one or the second one? Oh,
the first one. I don't like those kind of movies. So I told Russ, my son.
You don't like those kind of movies?
No, I'm not a big fan of those kind of movies. But anyway,
action comedy.
Yeah,
I feel the need speed.
And so I wanted Russ to watch Miracle.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he said I'll only watch Miracle
again
if you
do it again.
Right. I said I'll only watch Miracle.
Don't tell me what happened. No spoiler alert.
If you watch
Top Gun.
Oh, okay. So I'll watch Top Gun. So he would watch Miracle.
Did you like Miracle?
Oh, I loved Miracle.
Yeah,
I had
it's
seen
a good
it
movie.
Before. Yeah, I loved Miracle.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm a heartstring guy,
But if you watched Top Gun in the 80s, you would have loved it. It's a great movie. It's a great movie, which at the time we didn't see what happened to Goose. The only problem with his nickname is he didn't make it.
Yeah.
But yeah, keeping him healthy. Jared Parker, in his first year, we didn't see the light through the tunnel, right? And he had his 3rd string quarterback, right? I'm a reasons versus excuses guy.
Right.
Why aren't you guys running the ball as well? Well, we're down to our 3rd string guard and our 2nd string tackle. That's a reason, not an excuse. That's a reason.
No, I agree.
So now we're on 3rd string quarterback, and it took him a little bit of time to get going. You only have so much time in practice. They could have won a ball game against Arkansas State, but instead of trying to kick a field goal, they forced it into the end zone. He threw an interception. That's on the coach. And then I think they went and beat Coastal Carolina, and they started to get better. And then last year, they're looking at 1-3. They're down 17-0 to Buffalo. They scored 21 points in the 4th quarter, and it turned around because you're all punter special teams player, Evan Crenshaw, who's the special teams preseason player of the year, which is a punter, which is great.
Yeah.
Pinned Buffalo back, and that's when we get a stop and a score. We're back into it.
That's one thing I thought about preparing for this. For a mid-major league, The special teams units are normal. They got been a lot of good special teams units in this league in the last 2 or 3 years.
Well, the Cajuns have had a ridiculous
good
line of
ones.
place kickers, right?
Right.
Just
So I mean, like the special teams are pretty good in this league.
yeah.
Not every team, but a handful of teams that are really
Well,
good at it.
I mean, Evan Crenshaw is going to he's going to be up for the Ray Guy Award. And for
Right.
those who don't know who Ray Guy is, that's the best punter in America. All right.
Right.
Former Raiders. Ray
Southern
Guy.
Miss.
Oh, there you go.
Southern Miss.
Even
yeah.
better. All right.
All right. So, do you have a better idea of Tech or Coastal?
Well, Tech also, their quarterback is up for grabs because it hurt. Who's ever healthy, right? He's going to be Buddy Baker. I think was the quarterback who won the bowl game. I probably have a better idea of Coastal of La Tech rather, because it could be quarterback and coach coming back. Whereas, like you said,
They got a couple linemen back. They got the coach back.
yeah. And
Quarterback's got some
and,
experience.
they had losing seasons, and now they had a winning season. I'm looking forward to it because now all of a sudden, when I was covering the Cajuns, there's no rivals. It should be ULM. It was Arkansas State while I was there.
Right.
Because Hudspeth and Anderson didn't like each other. Right.
Right.
And they got into it. The players got into it. They
Yeah.
fed off their coaches. But now you got Southern Miss for baseball and football. Right. You got La Tech in there. You got Troy. I just think the Cajuns there needs to be a game that Cajun
where it
fans,
matters. Where it matters.
the Cajun fans come to, and
I think Southern Miss. That
Southern
was
Miss
the
could
best
be it,
thing
but,
about it.
The biggest attendance has been Grambling and Southern.
Well, see, I don't even count those.
But those who sell out,
Right.
those are usually
but-
the other
but
fans.
I don't even count those games. Attendance only matters to me if Cajun fans come to watch the Cajuns play. If
Right.
Cajuns come years ago to watch Alabama or Southern, that doesn't
A&M.
count.
Right.
That to me that doesn't count for attendance. It only matters if they come to watch you play. All right, so
When are you getting a new press box?
not this year.
Not happening
No,
anytime
not
soon. No.
But you know what?
Bad question.
But you know what?
Yeah.
Last year, we have this little high school press box right now, but I can
Sure.
see the field. Before they had moved us to the third level, I couldn't even see what game was that? They threw an interception in the left corner
What
of
do
the
you mean
end
they
zone.
moved you to
I
the
couldn't
third-
even
what do you
see
mean the third level?
the third level of the press box. Years ago, we used to be on the first level of the press box.
Okay.
The last couple of years that we were in the old press box, I was on the third level.
You were
So
above the coaches?
You couldn't see. No, in the press box, there's
okay.
3 levels.
Oh, in the press box.
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
there's 3 levels, and I was I couldn't even see.
Why'd they put you
Anyway,
up there?
I could see the field better. Plus, the bathroom's closer, so I actually like where we are right now. That's important when you get older.
Oh,
The
no, I know.
bathroom's
You don't have
closer
to
to
tell
the
me.
press box.
You don't have to tell me that.
Yeah, the bathroom's
Yeah,
closer to the
yeah,
press
yeah,
box, so I'm good as long as I can see the field.
Right.
You give me a little bit of food, tailgate
Right.
a little bit. I'm good. I don't need fancy.
Right.
I still cover high school football. I'm okay with tree house press boxes.
Yeah. No, that's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
As long as the air conditioning's working, that's all that matters.
Okay. Yes. Blake Anderson coming
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
It made sense. Will it work?
That's a good question. Right. Southern Miss is in this spot where they think they should be better. They haven't been better, since Nicky Mullins was beating the Cajuns in the New Orleans Bowl, right?
Well, they were good a couple years ago when coach from Marshall came down.
That's last year.
Yeah.
Well, yes, but they started out really well,
Right.
and then they stopped forcing those turnovers,
Yeah.
and they stopped winning because the turnovers weren't coming. So they were pretty good last year. Yeah, they were pretty good last year. But other than this one year, it has kind of been blasé. I'm a big fan of the Fighting Will Halls. We'll see. They're going to go play Tulane this year, so that'll be interesting. Maybe one of the first ball games this year. We'll see. It hasn't been an easy ride for Blake Anderson, right? I mean, lost his wife, lost his son.
Yes.
Had some off-field issues at Utah State. He's a successful football coach
In this league.
Yes. Yeah. And so again, you got to get the quarterback right. Who is the quarterback?
They had a really
last
good
year.
quarterback last year.
But that guy came from Marshall, so you got to get the quarterback right, and there's got to be a little bit of patience, and then you can see, year 2. That's why I'm interested in App State and Marshall, because Blake's been a head coach. These other 2 guys have never been head coaches, although they have years of experience. Now they're in year 2 of their head coaching experience. So we'll see. But I think Blake, we'll see. Maybe they could surprise. It's going to be a tough road in the East for Southern Miss.
All right. They say I got to go. Dave Schultz, king of Sunbelt
Locked on Sunbelt. All right.
Podcast.
It's ESPN Southwest 103.7 and
Yes.
104.1 Lake Charles. You got to say the station. You got to say the name of the guest. I'm listening to Footenote. Who's he talking to? Nick, who's on the radio? I don't know who Foot is talking. It's a really good conversation. I don't know who he's talking to. Thanks for having me on.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yes. We'll be back. Stay tuned.
This is Footnotes, live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
With storm season having arrived, ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana Sports Station, and Mid-South Power Solutions in Crowley bring you these hurricane safety tips. Make sure to secure your home and bring in outdoor items before the storm makes landfall. Have an emergency kit stocked with food, water, and medication. Know your evacuation routes and listen to local authorities. Stay informed with a battery-powered radio and make sure you have fresh batteries. Remember, safety is in your hands. These hurricane preparedness tips are powered by Mid-South Power Solutions in Crowley, your local Generac dealer. Visit midsouthpowersolutions.com.
Do you need more of the fellas here on Southwest Louisiana's sports station? Of course you do. So go make sure and subscribe to ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles YouTube channel at ESPN_SWLA. Don't forget to turn that bell on so you get notifications for new episodes of Fort Tire Change Podcast, where Dawson Iserloh talks all things NASCAR, or Cleats and Sneaks with James Mesh. Get yourself more of Southwest Louisiana's sports station at ESPN_SWLA on YouTube.
Every weeknight, MeTV has your laugh therapy.
To chase away the blues or the olive drabs.
With 2 hours of MASH at 5.
This guy's ankle has tickled my funny bone.
Followed by the Andy Griffith Show at 7.
Doggone it, Otis. He's supposed to be hugging me when I'm arresting you. But he likes you, Bart.
Weeknights on MeTV.
Watch MeTV Acadiana on KLWB, over the air on channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
Hi, I'm Nancy Landry. No matter what part of our great state you call home, Louisiana's elections are an important part of who we are. In 2026, closed party primaries will change how some of those elections happen, so you'll want to know what to do. Keeping your registration current ensures you'll get the right party-based ballot. Remember, this change only applies to certain offices. To learn more, visit govote.com or download the GoVote app.
Paid for by the Louisiana Secretary of State's office.
Attention, this is a public notice from Citizens Disability. If you're one of the millions of Americans who are disabled and unable to work, you may be eligible for disability benefits from Social Security. Receiving benefits is your right if you suffer from physical and mental disability. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied, Citizens Disability can help. You'll be given an advocate who will evaluate your situation, handle your application, and deal with Social Security. Best of all, there's no fee until you receive your benefits. We only get paid if you win your case. There are a number of conditions that could make you eligible for disability benefits, many of them you may not be aware of. So if you're disabled and unable to work, call Citizens Disability today to get started with your free, no-obligation consultation. 800-431-9667. 800-431-9667. 800-431-9667. That's 800-431-9667.
Many medicines used to treat colds and flu contain acetaminophen, a pain reliever and fever reducer found in hundreds of over-the-counter and prescription medicines. But taking too much or more than one medication containing acetaminophen per day can damage your liver. So always read the label and don't take acetaminophen if you drink 3 or more alcoholic drinks every day. To learn more, visit fda.gov/OTC Pain Info. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Food and Drug Administration.
Helping you get through your workday. This is ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Welcome back to Footnotes. Appreciate Dave coming on. We had quite a fury there. We talked to Coach Napier and then Coach Ronnie at ODU and then talked to Dave. We have a little bit of a break to process some of this, and then we're going to be talking to Coastal Carolina new head football coach Ryan Beard, and looking forward to talking to him and seeing how things are going. I mean, you know, I'm sure his head's spinning a little bit. You're coming into a new conference and have a whole lot to learn, and we'll see how it plays out. A program that it wasn't all that long ago. Cajun fans were hating on Coastal because of everything that happened to the COVID season and not playing the conference championship game. And then, Grayson McCall was there and then he wasn't. And, they haven't been competing for conference championships the last few years after Coach Chadwell went to Liberty. And so we'll see if Coastal can kind of get back on the map. They hung in there, kind of like the Cajuns did last year, got to 6 wins, got to a bowl and didn't win it, but actually did, a little better in conference play than maybe some people realize. So we'll see how that transition goes with Coach Beard. I got to tell you, I feel again we'll kind of reassess everything once all of this ends and we get to Friday, and we'll kind of process everything I've heard, and so far the biggest impression that I've gotten from the 2 interviews we've done and from talking to anybody else, and then we'll see the coach. They're talking right that the actual on the stage thing has already begun, where the commissioner I think is talking right now, and then they're going to have a representative from the college football playoff talking, and so I'll miss some of that. But the biggest thing that I've heard so far is the depth back from Coach Ronnie about ODU, and ODU was picked second in the East. They had one first place vote. They had 73 points. The Cajuns had 75 points, and so very close there. But the biggest thing that I've heard that might sway something is him saying, yeah, they officially they have like 6 starters back on defense. But he said we've got like 9 of our top 13 or 14. So that tells me, in other words, a lot of part-time guys who play. Cajun fans know how that goes. They've had it at linebacker where a guy will get some playing time. He's not technically a starter, but he'll get some playing time. And he'll get some playing time and be ready for the next year. So we'll see how things are play out with them. But if they're they only have one starter back on offense, it's a running back, and they lost their quarterback to Wisconsin, and so it's a situation where they're going to have some work to do on offense. They got a new offensive coordinator. But if you're really good on defense, like let's say, I don't know if they'll be as good as JMU. The jury, I think, is still a bit out on JMU defensively. But if ODU can be that kind of consistent on defense, like he was suggesting, that's going to give them a big ad. Like Marshall's really good on offense. They got a lot of work to do on defense. Georgia Southern's really good on offense over the years. Got a lot of work to do on defense. App has a lot of work to do on offense and defense. Georgia State has a lot of work to do on defense. So we don't really know about Coastal per se because everything's so new there. But ODU being good on defense and having really of all the units, like if you did, I'm not talking about special teams, even though I'm a big special teams guy. If you look at 14 units, you have 28 units, offense, defense for the 14 teams. From what I can see, I think it's possible that ODU's defense is as seasoned as any of them. Maybe Arkansas State's got a lot they don't have their quarterback, but they got a lot back on offense. Maybe them. The Cajuns have some units that are they got a pretty good amount back on offense. But ODU's defense might be the most seasoned of all of them. So that is a kind of one of the things that I've heard so far that kind of makes an impression of what I'm expecting to happen. Am I seeing this right? Lance McCullers was traded to the Brewers, but for what?
And Colton Gordon, but we don't know yet.
So they're not. It's for cash. Is this for no players?
This seems like a salary dump. Yes, from everything I've heard. I mean, there might be like some.
Like, what are the Brewers getting out of this?
They're getting Lance McCullers. I guess they think he's got something left in the tank. I don't know.
I mean, Lance McCullers is not someone I'm going to root against because he's such a good guy. But I mean, obviously, he's been, as we say, stealing money for so long because he just never plays. The whole Lance McCullers rehab thing didn't make sense, but I guess a trade makes. That's why the rehab thing makes sense. So Lance McCullers is going to the Brewers. And Colton Garden is not someone I wanted, so I'm certainly good with him not being there. Way, way, way too hittable. Him. So wow, that's a very interesting situation there. I didn't expect to hear that. I mean, I don't know why anyone would want Lance McCullers, but apparently someone does. So we'll see. Wow, we'll see how that goes. Did not expect to see that today, but no, we've got It'll be very interesting to see, what else we hear. Looking forward to learning a little bit about these teams because we need, I just don't know. I think App's got a little too far to go. We'll see how that plays out. I think Georgia State offensively last year was pretty good. But they had a really good wide receiver in Hurst, who's now in the NFL, and they still couldn't win any games. So how much progress they're going to be able to make on, I don't know. And Georgia Southern again, really good on offense, but their defense, they gave up. I think the total was like 324-25 first downs last year. Like they just. Kind of like the Cajuns, just not nearly good enough on defense. And so we'll see. Outside of JMU and ODU and Marshall, I'm pretty high on Marshall because their offense is so good. But again, they've got a lot of work to do on defense as well. Like Marshall's going to score a lot of points this year. It's a good thing the Cajuns don't have to play any of those teams, JMU, ODU, or Marshall. Because they're going to score a ton of points this year. Now, how many they're going to give up, I don't know. They gave up way too many last year. And so we'll see. I'm thinking the defenses are just going to be a little better in the West, but we'll see how that plays out. So, no, we're learning a little bit, but still a lot of question marks. Like talking to Dave, who follows the teams in the East a whole lot more than I do. And you could tell he doesn't have much of an idea any more than in the rest of us. It's just kind of a crapshoot right now. We'll see how it plays out as we move on. All right, that'll do it for this segment. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we will be talking to new Coastal Carolina coach Ryan Beard, trying to answer some questions there. We'll do that on the other side. Stay tuned.
This is Footnotes, live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
How many delicious small sliders can you eat? Well, you can find out by taking part in the Lafayette Small Sliders Eating Contest held during the Lafayette Anniversary Bash on Saturday, July 25th at 4611 Ambassador Caffrey Parkway. During the location's Anniversary Bash, which also features bounce houses and games for the kids, live music, and more, there will be, of course, the eating contest where you can score a cash prize. To sign up to see if you have what it takes to win the contest, visit ESPNSouthwestLouisiana.com and click on the Small Sliders sign-up sheet.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit B1Bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
The American League took home the Midsummer Classic crown last night after beating the National League 4-0. Yankees' Cody Bellinger and Ben Rice picked up back-to-back RBI to give the AL a 3-run lead in the first. Then in the eighth, Miguel Vargas hit a solo shot to left to seal the 4-0 win. The MLB All-Star break will continue today with the regular season getting back underway tomorrow night with the Phillies hosting the Mets. Spain is heading back to the World Cup final after knocking off France 2-0 yesterday in the World Cup semifinals in Dallas. With that win, Spain has now beaten France in 3 straight semifinal matches and will now play in the World Cup final for the second time in their history. Spain will get the winner of today's semifinal matchup between England and Argentina. The last time these two teams met was in 2005, while their last competitive matchup came in the group stage of the 2002 World Cup. Kickoff is set for 2 o'clock this afternoon from Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. LSU football has released the names of the 3 attendees that will be accompanying Coach Kiffin to Tampa Bay next week for SEC Media Days. Linebackers TJ Daugherty and Whit Weeks and tight end Trey'Dez Green will represent LSU at the podium. The Tigers are scheduled to speak next Thursday, the last day of the event. McNeese Athletics announced yesterday that they will have a new sponsorship patch on all jerseys for the upcoming year. Navarre Chevrolet, who also holds the naming rights to Cowboy Stadium, will have their sponsorship patch on all Cowboys and Cowgirls jerseys moving forward. I'm Blake Persher, and you're listening to ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, your home for the LSU Tigers and the Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you. ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles is packing its bags and headed to Tampa for SEC Media Days. Tune in starting Monday, July 20th, as RP3 and Mesh and The Lowdown with D'Lo will be broadcasting live from Radio Row for ESPN's Live from SEC Media Day coverage, powered by Service Chevrolet Cadillac. Kick off the 2026 season in Tampa with ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
When it comes to the best Boudin Cracklins in Acadiana, just follow your nose to Billy's Boudin Cracklins. You know the original stuffed pepper jack Boudin balls, award-winning Boudin Cracklins. But you gotta sink your teeth into their variety of fresh and smoked sausages. Stock up on the wide selection of specialty meats as well. They're available at all 4 locations of Billy's Boudin Cracklins, Opelousas, Scott, Lafayette, or the Crut Springs location, now featuring a dine-in area with great burgers and much more cooked to order. Or visit online at billysboudin.com.
Need peace of mind with your estate planning? Turn to Beal & Aber, your trusted hometown lawyers. At Beal & Aber, we make estate planning simple and stress-free, ensuring your legacy is secure and your future is in the right hands. Don't wait. Schedule your consultation today at BealAbear.com. That's BealAbear.com. Safeguarding your tomorrow today.
Looking for a spotless workplace? Variety Janitorial Services is your go-to. For office cleaning to stripping and floor waxing and carpet cleaning, your commercial space will look its best. Their reputation for perfection has grown throughout the entire Acadiana community. They deliver top-notch service with a commitment to excellence. Daily, weekly, or deep cleaning, trust the experts. Visit varietyjan.com today or call 337-298-8704 for a free quote. Variety Janitorial Services. We clean, you shine.
It's hurricane season, and Mid-South Power Solutions wants you and your family to be prepared. Protect your home from sudden power outages with a Generac automatic standby generator, the industry leader. Installed by the experts at Mid-South Power Solutions, the Generac automatic standby generator start up during power failures, keeping your home powered until the local utility restores service. Remember, installing a standby generator is not a do-it-yourself project. Mid-South Power Solutions factory-trained technicians meet the highest standards. Don't get caught in the dark. Visit Mid-South Power Solutions in Crowley or at midsouthpowersolutions.com. Mid-South Power Solutions. Your power, our priority.
Whether it's a tempting text message or a quick glance at your GPS, taking your eyes off the road for just a moment can have serious consequences. This includes turning around or reaching down. Distractive driving includes eating or putting on makeup. Distractive driving is anything that diverts your attention from driving. I'm Lorraine Luquette Vinoy with Service Chevrolet Cadillac, encouraging you to drive smart, drive safe, and keep those eyes on the road, Acadiana. This message is powered by Service Chevrolet Cadillac and this radio station, where safety meets style on the road.
Go check out our YouTube channel at ESPN_SWLA for the latest episodes of Cleats and Sneaks with James Mesh and Ford Tire Change with Dawson Izolo and much more. That's ESPN, Southwest Louisiana's sports station on YouTube.
Welcome back to Footnotes. You're listening to ESPN 1037 Lafayette, 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana sports station. Again, I'm sure you've heard or noticed we are in New Orleans, Sunbelt Conference football media days. And we're going to, we're waiting for Coach Ryan Beard from Coastal Carolina, finishing up an interview. The way it works here, we've got, I don't know, 15 or 20 tables in here and different radio stations from, Arkansas and different places around the Sun Belt landscape. And so the coaches kind of go from one to the other, and sometimes they go a minute too long or in other. So we're waiting for coach to go from one interview table to another, and when he gets over here, we'll talk to Coach Beard from Coastal Carolina, and looking forward to it. Again, we talked to two coaches in the first hour that we knew a pretty good about. I mean, obviously, Coach Napier was with the Cajuns, and James Madison, as high profile a football program as there is in the Sun Belt. And then Coach Ronnie, a coach who's been here, as he said, longer than any other Sun Belt coach now as the head coach. He's kind of the dean, and they kind of had their breakthrough season last year. They were pretty good. I mean, they finished the season. They didn't beat Coast. I mean, they didn't beat James Madison, but a lot of people didn't beat James Madison. But other than that, they finished the season 10-3 and 6-2 in the conference, and had a kind of a breakthrough season. And he's one of those coaches, kind of like. He's more like Coach Dez than any other coach that's in this conference, in that he's a football coach, and he's not into saying the politically correct thing or being all PC about things. He kind of tells you how he feels, and you can tell it just when losing games. Prior to 2 years ago when the Cajuns broke through and won 10 games, they lost a lot of once close games, and that's where Coastal was until last year. They would just be right there, and I mean, Old Dominion. That's where they were going into last year, and so yeah, he's a coach that I really respect. Like I've said before, other than Coach Dez, I mean, if I had to name the other coach in the Sun Belt I'd like to work with on a regular basis, it would be Coach Ronnie. And so um, Cajuns don't play him this year, so we'll kind of see how he does. Is that Coach Beard? Yeah. So yeah, I'm trying to get Coach Beard over to talk to him, and we'll be doing that here in a minute or so. And so no, we're going from coaches, like I said, that we don't know as much about. I mean, that we know a lot about, to one that we trying to learn a little bit. Um, all right, we'll get Kevin Foote, sir. How you doing? Nice to meet you. Well, this is your head spinning a little bit. You got going from place to place. New conference, new everything's new here.
No, been there, done that. Trust your processes. Be who you are. Listen, the guys that come up to you and they have to put on some facade and fake who they are. That's when your head spins. You know what I mean?
Right. I got
you. Be rooted in what you believe in and live and die with that.
So, what is obviously, is it a little easier in this era to go to start over in a new conference in this transfer portal area, or is it a little easier in the old way of doing things, you think?
Probably a little easier in this era, simply because you've got such a different pool of talent to really look at. I mean, as well as anybody how busy the transfer portal is.
Yeah.
And I think it helps you find guys that really fit your program, your culture, the things that you believe in, so that you can, again, the film is the film. If they're talented enough, they're talented enough. But I think where we have to separate ourselves is getting the right guys, the right mentality, the competitive greatness, those types of things really have to be the edge, because, these are basically 12-month teams. I know that sounds crazy to old school football guys.
That's what they are, yeah.
But we got to call a spade a spade. And I think that with the staff we put together and the way we recruit, and our GM, Scott Aligo, did a phenomenal job of kind of being able to identify the needs even before we got into that portal season. I think that gave us an edge.
Again, we're speaking with Coach Ryan Beard, from first-year coach at Coastal Carolina. But when you're coming from a different school, different conference, how hard is it to build that 12-month team? I mean, what allowed you to overcome some of those obstacles? That's got to be more challenging than like Coach Ronnie, who we were just talking to, who's been here long conference as a head coach longer than anyone.
Yeah, it's really challenging, and you've got to again be able to sell your vision. I believe firmly that people follow vision and true belief. I'm not talking like used car salesman belief, like BSing you. I'm talking a conviction on
Right.
this is our processes. This is what we can do for you. This is how you fit in our scheme. This is how we will extenuate your talent and get you to where you want to be in life. I think regardless of how long we've been in the conference or any type of thing like that, if you work hard enough at identifying the right people, you can still be successful. Now it is challenging, and one of the most challenging parts was, and I just talked to the gentleman over there, is I was on campus for about 2 weeks, basically identifying the roster pieces that we could grow with, interviewing everybody, every single player, every person within the organization, figuring out who believes like we believe,
Yes.
and who wants to be a Chanticleer, and who needs to go hit that transfer portal. And I think we did a good job there. I mean, heck, we brought about 50 transfers in, so you can tell how those meetings went.
All right, so the numbers. I remember last year or 2 years ago when we started, you had some schools that had 70 new players.
Mhm.
So, like, what's y'all number this year with
Yeah,
a new coaching
we're,
staff?
we're around 50.
Yeah.
We're around 50, and just what I talked about earlier is the connection between the people. That's where we have to be great, because when you think about it, you got a room full of people, they don't know each other. They don't know where they played high school ball, what other colleges they've been to, how they tick, those different types of things. So we still have culture meetings. We have, team get-togethers to where we gotta know each other. We gotta be connected before you even worry about an X's or an O. And I think that is tremendously challenging. That's probably the most challenging part about it. But there's ways to overcome that, and I think we've done a good job of it.
Okay, you did a good job at Missouri State. What was the key there that you learned that you think you can bring to Coastal?
I think trust in your processes. I think that, and again, sometimes that can be cliche because people are all about, doing things the right way, but I firmly believe it. And our track record shows that if you trust what we're doing and you trust your coaching, we're going to put on prime example on offense, we're going to get you open. We're going to get a quarterback good looks on defense. We're going to apply when we're going to stop the run. Those different types of things are proven, and you're going to enjoy your life at Coastal Carolina. You know what I mean? That's one thing that we make sure we do is we still treat people the right way. We still have a foundation to take care of these players. And again, I don't think there's a better time right now to be in the new era of Coastal Carolina football.
And geographically, you're in a pretty nice area.
You got it. I mean, hey, listen,
I've been there a couple
listen,
times.
I'm not shying away from that.
Yeah.
When you can take an official visit and you and your family can go sit on the beach for 3 hours,
Right.
and watch the waves crash, I think that's a pretty cool deal.
That does help, no question. So a lot of times I'm looking at all these teams, and most of them you don't really know who your quarterback is. Do you have a true quarterback race, or you're bringing a guy with you? Is he kind of the front runner?
No, ours is as true of a quarterback race as you can possibly get. And most people say we got 3 guys. I think we have 4 because our freshman Osiris Lopez is an absolute dude. We got Trey Guerrero, top JUCO quarterback in the country. Trevor Jackson, transfer from Arkansas, and then Deuce Bailey, who's a proven winner that came with me from Missouri State. And each of them have great trait. They're talented in their own right. And the one thing you have to do in our offense that I think is unique is you've got to be able to handle choice calls. Coach Nick Petrino, the offensive coordinator, is going to give you a choice call in the green dot, and you're going to have to identify defense. So you can't just be a guy that goes out there, numb-brained and just think that your athleticism can overcome it. We want you to think. We want you to process. And I think whoever does that best and puts us in a position to win will be our guy.
Okay, so the last time Coastal was competing for conference championships, they had it was very quarterback centric with Grayson McCall. So obviously they got to be smart, like you're just saying, but how much of a playmaker is the quarterback typically in your offense?
Yeah, I think you want him to be able to make plays when needed, but he also needs to manage the game, be able to distribute the ball to our playmakers, be able to, again, understand advantage checks and manage the football game. You just don't want a quarterback to get you beat. You know what I mean?
Right.
Take care of the football, do things that you're coached to do, because, you can have a game-breaking quarterback, which is awesome. Sometimes those guys have a different side of that coin that they can also give a few away. I try to stay away from that. You know what I mean? I want you to be level-headed. I want you to, again, understand what we do well and what it takes to win. Because at halftime, we're going to meet as a staff and we're going to go offense, defense, get together and go, What does it take to go win this football game? Maybe that's run the clock out, running the football, controlling the ball. Maybe that's, hey, defense is struggling. Let's go shoot them out. You know what I mean? And light the scoreboard up. Those types of things the quarterback has to be able to handle.
The defenses, if in your division in the East, obviously James Madison is fabulous on defense.
No question.
ODU was pretty good on defense last year. Most of the other leagues were better. Teams were better on offense and defense. As the recruiting process, what is the keys to putting together, a defense that's upper division there?
Yeah, definitely. I think it depends on, obviously the scheme you're trying to run and the pieces that you have in place. I think we did a nice job of shoring up our defensive front. I think that's the most important. Again, I'm an old soul. I think it starts up front, offensive line, defensive line, because you just talked about a quarterback. Hell, if you don't have an O-line, the quarterback doesn't matter.
Right.
Same thing with the pass rush. And if you can't stop the run, they're just going to run the ball down your throat. You got to stop the run and then be able to affect the quarterback. So I think that's primarily where we focused a lot of our energy, a lot of our resources is being able to get bulkier and bigger, faster, stronger at each position. And I'm a defensive guy. I believe in great defensive football. And I think that also helps us because the mentality of the football team as a whole comes from that defensive side of the ball, about our out hit, out hustle mentality, about flying to the football with relentless pursuit. So I think they've done a good job of kind of becoming just that.
I can't imagine the media members. We vote on all conference preseason. That's tough to do. But as a coach, you're voting on like this team's got 50 new players. This team's got 60 new players. I don't know what you vote on, but just learning the Sun Belt Conference, is that going to be, how much of a chore is that? Because every scheme, if you're here for 3 years from now, you're going to kind of know how the thing goes and what it's going to take to win. Like, what about that process?
Yeah, I think that's tremendously challenging. And I think that's what you have to do in the front end. You have to be able to sit there and you have to grind through some film. You've got to watch the seasons of each team you're about to play and figure out what coaches are still there, what coaches are at different places. And then when you find a coach from a different place, you got to go watch their film.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You've got to do the legwork to make sure that you have, and I'm not saying people have wrinkles, you know what I mean? I just mean structurally, what is that head coach and what is he about, and understand kind of what you're going to get throughout the week.
It's going to be interesting. Well, Coach Des has been with the Cajuns for going into his 5th year. They kind of try to do the same thing pretty often, and that consistency can help.
Sure.
And I'm sure that's what you're trying to develop right now.
Absolutely. And I have a tremendous amount of respect for the coaches in this league. And that's the one thing, I don't know if you've noticed, but I noticed it just walking around these halls. You got great players, great coaches. I mean, like high level guys that know football and know how to win. So we got to be on point each and every week.
All right. Coach Ryan Beard trying to bring Coastal Carolina to back at the top of the Eastern Conference. Good luck to you, Coach.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Good to meet you. Well, we'll see what happens. Again, it wasn't all that long ago that Coastal was competing for a consistent contender in the Sun Belt overall, much less the East. And so we'll see if Coach can do that. For now, we'll take the time out and be back.
This is Footnotes, live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
The fellas here at ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles are packing their bags and heading to Florida, Tampa to be specific, for SEC Media Days. Tune in starting Monday as RP3 Mesh and the Lowdown with D-Lo will be broadcasting live from Radio Row for ESPN's Live from SEC Media Day coverage, powered by Service Chevrolet Cadillac. In addition to the live shows, the fellows will be providing boots-on-the-ground daily reports for the Jordy Holtberg Show and Footnotes. Kick off the 2026 football season in Tampa with ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana Sports Station.
ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles is the proud winner of 4 2026 LAB Prestige Awards, including Best Use of Digital Media, Foot's Friday Fury, Best Live On-Site Remote for our Super Bowl Radio Row coverage, Best Promotion for our No Shave November initiative, and Radio Young Professional of the Year for Dawson Iserloh. We're proud of being Southwest Louisiana's sports station and are humbled to be recognized by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters.
The best businesses aren't just businesses, they're neighbors. Here's a message from a proud certified South Louisiana business.
Bro Bridge Truck Stop Casino. They have the newest games around. Hot seat drawings and monthly specials like no one else. Located on the Bro Bridge Highway and on the banks of the Vermilion River. Come out today and try your luck at the Bro Bridge Truck Stop Casino.
When you support local businesses, you strengthen the communities we call home. Shop local, support local, certified South Louisiana.
Acadiana area businesses. Is it time to make an impact? Time for more traffic, more engagement, time for more customers? Then it's time to make a splash with Bass. Bass is now offering digital marketing, indoor and outdoor digital signage, billboards, and video production to help you reach more customers and close more business. For over 30 years, Bass has helped our customers tell their story. Bass Companies. Remember, a business without a sign is a sign of no business. Advertise with Bass. Find us around Acadiana or at bassltd.com.
Lose weight with Alex Goen patented hypnosis.
This is Lisa Stofan. Hypnosis eliminated my desire for soda and fast food, made me want to exercise, and I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. My energy level exploded. I went to another session to deal with some other problem foods. I lost another 10 pounds. In fact, I brought my husband, and he lost weight.
The only weight loss method in America proven useful by the U.S. Patent Office because it reprograms your subconscious. Engineered to kill cravings, emotional eating, and late-night fridge attacks. Get full on half the food, so you lose the weight and you keep it off. 10 pounds, 30 pounds, whatever your goal. Only $59.99 or your money back. Weight loss seminar Saturday, July 18th at the Hilton Garden Inn Cajun Dome at 11 a.m. Stop smoking at 2 p.m. Sign up at alexgoen.com. That's ALEXGOEN.com. alexgoen.com.
Imagine building your dream backyard pool without ever leaving your couch. With Duplessis Builders, you can go shop our in-ground gunite pool packages online, start to finish. Browse our pool designs, compare features, see exactly what's included, and choose the package that fits your style and budget. Once you purchase, our team takes over. From permit and excavation to gunite decking and final startup, you click, we build, you swim. Your backyard upgrade is just a few clicks away. Visit duplessisbuilders.net and buy your pool online today.
Do yourself a favor and download the free ESPN Southwest Louisiana mobile app, powered by Moss Motors BMW for your Android or Apple devices. Download the app by searching ESPN 1037 Lafayette or ESPN 1041 Lake Charles. It's just that easy to take Southwest Louisiana's sports station with you wherever you go.
Welcome back. As we finish up, man, those 2 hours went by fast when you're doing interview after interview. And again, we got to talk to Coach Napier, and we'll see how things go for him in that first year, James Madison. He seemed pretty happy with the players, the new players that were brought in. But as time, my curiosity there is, will they be able to duplicate that kind of intensity on defense with mostly new players, with very few exceptions, new coaches, new scheme. So we'll see how that plays out for them. And so looking forward to tomorrow. By the way, our schedule for tomorrow we'll be talking to new Louisiana Tech. Well, he's not a new coach at Louisiana Tech. He's actually going into his 5th season, one or more veteran head coaches in the Sun Belt, but he's new to the Sun Belt. Louisiana Tech coach Sonny Cumbie. And then at about 9:30, 9:35, somewhere in there, we're going to talk to Coach Daz, as well as Lunch, the quarterback, and George Jackson, offensive lineman. So we'll be talking to the Cajuns around the back half of the 9 o'clock hour, and then talk to old friend Blake Anderson, who was once a coach at UL and obviously coached against the Cajuns for a long, long time at Arkansas State. And so we'll see how things are going with them and try to catch up. Get maybe some of our old friend Dan McDonald's impressions, because Dan's the one that runs the show on stage and studio, and he's done that for many years. And so I'm sure he'll get some impressions from the coaches and with the players talk about, kind of get his impressions for the East. I mean, we know a little bit more about the West than we do the East, obviously, but we'll talk to Dan and maybe get some impressions before from what he got from the East coaches. And we interviewed 3 today, and so we'll see on the show. We'll see how it goes moving forward. We've talked to, over the years, Coach Clay Helton from Georgia Southern, and he's as smooth as it gets as a coach that you interview. But it's just, man, the story doesn't seem to change a whole lot with them putting up a lot of points and a lot of yards and giving up a lot of points and a lot of yards. And I understand that's kind of all over college football these days, but we'll see if it can change a little bit. And I think that the thing that puts like a JMU and an ODU above those teams is that they're able to play. You got to play some defense, and hopefully the Cajuns can get back to that. The Cajuns they had some big goal line stands last year, which was nice at times, but way too often gave up the big plays, especially on third down, and they've got to do a better job in pass defense. And we'll be talking with Coach Dez about that and many other things tomorrow. And of course, the two players that they brought are offense, so we won't be asking them too many questions about what's going on defense, but certainly will with Coach Dez. So we'll see how things are. Look in the West tomorrow. Looking forward to that. And I don't know, man, this Astros trade, I'm still trying to process all that. We'll see if more is to come there. All right, that'll do it here from today from New Orleans. Y'all have a good day.
Looking for your next firearm? Come visit Louisiana Gun Shop in Broussard. We've got financing options, 12 months same as cash, plus layaways up to 90 days. With a wide selection of new and used guns, we've got something for every budget, big or small. Have an old gun collecting dust? Trade it in or turn it into cash. Need parts? We've got the largest selection of AR-15 components in the area, from springs to grips and buttstocks. Explore our ever-changing used inventory online at LouisianaGunShop.com. Louisiana Gun Shop, your one-stop shop for firearms and more.
Misfits Dine and Drink, a destination restaurant in Broussard, is constantly evolving. Dine in for great food and a great atmosphere. Whether it's lunch, dinner, or brunch on Saturday or Sunday, stop in to enjoy a handmade gourmet pizza or one of their delicious pastas. Take a sip of their new and seasonal craft cocktails and mocktails. And don't forget dessert. Try the birthday cake bread pudding. Whether it's new menu items or old favorites, come to Misfits for a great food experience. It's classic Italian with a modern twist. Misfits Dine and Drink, 200 Heritage Parkway off Highway 90 in Broussard.